the past which led to this conference room today, we cannot entirely forget, but we can certainly forgive the days of our imprisonment and the occasions when many of us have been subject to personal indignities and hardship because of our political ideas.
Zambia does not have the capacity to strike back at the enemy because the enemy has been prepared for the last 60, 70 years, South Africa, for the last 54 years, Rhodesia. What's more, centuries behind them coming from the Western countries.
Hello and welcome to the Real Life Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jonathan. This is a platform where we'll get to engage, interact, and learn from icons, gurus, moguls, trendsetters, trailblazers, difference makers, and world changers. You know what I'm talking about. And talking about trend setting, the guy sitting next to me is an interesting individual doing interesting and amazing things. He goes by the name Frank Kasonde. He's a filmmaker and embarking on one of the most, I can say, major projects that we've ever had right here in Zambia, and we're going to get into details with that particular project. But Frank, welcome to the show, man.
I'm so excited to be here, man.
How
I've waited a long time to be here. Waited a long time to be here, and finally we're here, man. I'm just so excited to be here, bro.
Great, and I'm grateful. And first and foremost, in the mood of independence.
Exactly.
That's the reason why we're shooting this video, right?
Exactly. It's actually
because what does independence mean to you, first of all?
I actually, I was on 2 shows yesterday, and this is the first question I was actually getting.
Yeah.
So independence to me, I've actually been explaining it to it is that it is a gift that actually our forefathers have given it to us.
Yeah.
In order to excel and take advantage of our fullest potential as young people.
Yeah.
In a sense that, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that, when we were under colonialism, is that we were restricted.
Yeah.
We couldn't use our fullest potential, be it in movement, be it in speech, be it in press, be it in anything that we could do in order to, make the change that we actually need as a nation. So when our forefathers actually took up the baton, held the bull by its horn, and actually helped us, attain freedom, they actually gave us this freedom and say, let's see what you can do. You know what I mean? They actually fought their battle, and they're looking forward for us to actually fight our own battles. We've got economical battles that we need to actually win. You know what I mean? So I just feel that it's a gift. Independence is a gift that we're actually given to us by our forefathers.
Great, brilliant answer right there. What do you think is the best way to celebrate independence?
Like on the usual way we have been doing it, where we, go swimming, pick up a drink. We know it's cold, you know what I mean? It's probably inevitable if we do that. But I feel that the right way we can do for us to, celebrate meaningfully what independence is actually, just go on Google or ask an older person and just try to find out something new about what you know about freedom fighters. Because, in my quest on, doing what I'm doing, the movie I'm working on, I've been working on it for the last 14 years, and I realized that the more I learn about our history, the more I want to learn more.
Yeah.
So I'm urging every young person out there to say, before you do anything that you consider funny on the independence, make sure that you learn something new about our freedom fighters, about our history, literally anything about our freedom. It's an amazing approach that I know that with time we'll need to know more on who we are as a people, because at the end of the day, a man who doesn't know where they're going should at least know where they're coming from. You know what I mean? So like young people right now, we're stuck in between because we don't know where we're going. Little do we know where we're coming from. So we're stuck in between, and we're just becoming a joke, So we go on social media, it's all about memes, it's all about being funny. There's no serious agendas being discussed by young people. No history at all, you know what I mean? So
people don't know where they come from.
We're losing the sense of history, in the words of Dr. Vernon Mwanga. The last time we actually interviewed him, he said we should never lose a sense of history as a people, and I think that's what we're driving to, because literally young people don't know where we're coming from. So it's difficult to have an identity if you don't know where you're coming from as a people in Zambia.
Great. Now, there can never be a discussion about independence without talking about the legendary, iconic giant, the late Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. And one thing interesting about you is that you are the only person who was endorsed and blessed to do the KK movie. Exactly. And that's what we're talking about right here.
Exactly.
First and foremost, what inspired you to go about the movie?
So my inspiration for my movie actually started out in 2008. I was back in school, I was back a few boys, and I was one of the stubborn boys they actually had in school. You know, I was behind all the unnecessary activities from you know, riots and just you know. And I realized that with time I realized that I was actually good at you know, organizing things despite them being negative. So I was trying to asking myself, how can I turn this negative energy into something positive? You know, so there's a day I remember we were watching, it was actually KK's birthday, and a reporter was going around the streets asking people, you know, how it is actually, I realized it was actually a documentary that was done by a certain friend of mine who's a filmmaker that is based in Kenya. So they were asking people, how do you perceive KK? And a lot of them kept saying, he's a father of the nation, he's a great son of Africa, he's done so much great for Africa. And the question began to eat my mind. I was like, okay, if this guy is this great, how come we haven't done anything about it? So you can Google great leaders, you can even Google bad leaders. Adolf Hitler, and these are the guys that still have movies, and they were given the honor that they have. And I was like, why haven't we done anything for KK? You know what I mean? So I started thinking, okay, what can I do? You know what I mean? What can I do? And I sort of, okay, maybe because I was in drama by then, I didn't even know how being a filmmaker was like. And I said, okay, how about if I wrote a book? But I was like, I'm in Zambia's read. And how far is that thing gonna go? So I said, okay, let's do a play. Started writing a play, and I was like, okay, a play is just stationed. So, and it's something that can be concrete and sent out there so people can get to appreciate who we are as a people through our founding fathers. And that's how I came up with an idea to do a movie. And I started working with what I had. And everything I know in production right now, I actually taught myself. So I could just go on Google and ask, who is the producer? How do you make a movie? So when I started out, I literally didn't want to make an ordinary movie. You know what I mean? I needed to make something that can be appreciated in the world market. And I started looking at movies like, you know, Long Walk to Freedom. I started looking at movies like Invictus, Blood Diamond, you know, those big movies that were actually made, you know, celebrating the likes of, you know, Martin Luther King. I was looking at movies like Malcolm X, and I was thinking, okay, looking at how can you make a movie like this one? And that's how I drew my inspiration and said, you know, I think I'm going to be the first one to do it. And I didn't mind what I had and what I didn't have. I just decided, you know, I had passion to say I'm going to do it. And I can guarantee it was an amazing experience. I actually knocked on the door of the first family for 7 years before they actually gave me an opportunity.
Really?
So it just didn't even come cheap.
Did you meet the late president? First president?
Yeah, I actually met the late president over the 12 times. I was actually very fond of him.
And did he lay his hands on you? With the white handkerchief?
When handkerchief, I was actually fond of that one, you know what I mean? I actually met him over 12 times. Every time I needed something, I'll just call the family through the help of Uncle Kaweche. He's my project representative on the project, and the family representative as well. But I'm very you know, fond of everybody actually. You know, Uncle TJ, Uncle Tuyenji, Mama K. So literally, I think everybody, you know, I do talk to almost everybody in the family, and they're aware that we're actually doing this.
So I'm aware that a lot of people obviously approached the first family, you know, to talk about the same project, the same movie, and they were not picked. What made you special? Why did they pick on you? What did you do?
Literally, there was nothing special about me apart from the bulldog persistence that I had. You know, I knocked on their door for like 7 years. You know, no, he's not feeling well, no, you can't see him, no, he's busy, no, he's what. But I told him, you know, the only way to chase me is to give me what I want, and this is what I want to do. So it's not like it's an option. Should I do it or shouldn't? No, I just definitely have to do this because it's an assignment, you know what I mean? I actually drew the inspiration from KK himself, because how many young people today who started out as teachers want to be presidents? You know, it's not only an independent story, it's also an inspirational story, you know what I mean? I realize that young people right now lack, it's not money that we lack right now. It's actually the lack of inspiration that we lack, you know what I mean? When you look at how America has actually perceived the direction of how they actually tackle problems, they do draw inspiration in young people first. So everybody wants to be like Spider-Man, everybody wants to be like Aquaman, everybody wants to be, you know, like Dr. Strange and many other greats, you know. So you wake up knowing that you are not oppressed. And that's the first step in, you know, changing the world, you know what I mean? And when you look at in Africa, we've been suppressed because there are no great stories. Even the stories of bad leaders we thought were bad leaders, Idi Amin, were not really as bad as they were, because when you are telling a story, when you're writing your story, don't allow somebody to hold the pen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I made sure to say, no matter how big this project is, I need to own the IP so I can. So I should be the author. You know what I mean? So we get to tell the story, even though we want to make it on the world market with the help of other, exposed artists. But we need to make sure that we tell it our own way. So I made sure that the story was actually wrote by a Zambian writer who is a Zambian. Then there's also a Zambian writer who's based in the Netherlands.
I was actually coming to that. Like,
yeah,
who are you working with right now?
So we're actually working with a lot of big names. Working with a lot of big names. We actually started out the project, and the first writer was just an ordinary writer. A friend of mine who I was working with by the name of Samuel Tukumania. And we went further now to take, there's a lady called Van der Boom. She's amazing, and she's wrote some of our amazing stories in Zambia, but she's based in the Netherlands. So we went to her for quite an exposure, you know what I mean? Then we're working with people like Kalumba Kapisa, who's a big director and producer in South Africa. He's one of the giant producers we have. Then we have Jimmy Katuta. Jimmy Katuta is actually a representative in Hollywood. He's actually a gentleman who owns an organization called JK and Partners. You know Jimmy, right?
I know Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like our representative in the US. Whatever thing that we need to do that side is the one that attends meetings and things like that. We've got Jack Mwale, who's our country coordinator. We've got I've got recently engaged just like today when I was coming. I was actually having a conversation with one of the biggest Hollywood producers called Kim Prince.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's actually based in Hollywood as well as in the British.
Okay.
And there's a lot of direction that we are actually taking on how we can actually, take the project. And talking of the main act, we've, managed to be in talks with Jaimon also. One of the biggest Hollywood African actors that we have. And right now, as we speak, apparently I can guarantee that it's actually you are the first one having this information that now there's a debate on how should we use Jaimon Onso or should we use Idris Elba, because the producer that I recently engaged
as the main actor?
As the main actor, exactly.
Okay. Are you acting in the movie as well?
I'm definitely acting in the movie, but I'm talking about the 2-3 seconds because I'm going to be overwhelmed with work, managing and overseeing the whole entire project. Okay. So I didn't want to take a huge role because we're talking about a lot of time with the script, a lot of time with the cast and whatnot. So I said, okay, I'm going to play a role, but it has to be as minimal as possible so I can concentrate on making sure that the project is running smoothly.
But how much is the budget for this project, man?
So the movie we are making is what we call a high budget feature film. A high budget feature film runs on nothing less than $10 million. So specifically this project is running on a minimum of $38 million. So specifically we're looking at nothing $40 million and above.
That's a lot of bags, man.
I know.
So what's the plan? Do you have this money?
No, we don't have this money right now. We don't.
What's the plan?
So the plan, this is what happened. Every business has got a strategy on how you get funding or how you make money in return. So when it comes to film production, there's specifically 4 elements that you need to make a big movie. Yeah. Number 1 is the story. Do you have a story that everybody can say, this is the story I'm looking forward to?
Or which you have already.
Which we have already. It's a Kenneth Kaunda story, an untold story of a great son of Africa.
Who doesn't know this legend?
Exactly, you know what I mean? So we qualify for a story, we're a big story, that's why we can actually manage to get all these big names, even without funding, and they're excited about it. Secondly, it's a director, who is directing your movie. So we do have this director called Kalumba Kapisa. He's an amazing producer and director in South Africa. He's actually done quite an amazing big productions. He's been on sets for Insidingo, Generation, Rhythm City. He's actually behind Soul City. Remember that old campaign for HIV and AIDS? He actually wrote and directed Soul City. So he's a big name with quite sitting on a lot of experience, you know what I mean? Then secondly, we've got a big Hollywood name, you know what I mean? If we're not going for Jaimon Onso, if we don't confirm Jaimon Onso, we're definitely confirming a name like Idris Elba or Jamie Foxx or Denzel Washington. But definitely we need to get a Hollywood star to play KK.
Nice.
So we can add value to the big name and sell it on the world market. And secondly, we're in talks with Netflix. And Netflix is excited about the project. They said they might not make it an original, where they fund it, but they said as soon as we're done, we can sit down with them to discuss a distribution deal. And we're also looking forward to put the project, God willing, next year the cases of COVID should be down, and possibly at least majority of people are vaccinated, meaning we can do box office and go to cinemas. And so these are the 4 elements that you actually need to propose a big production. You know, so these are bankable elements. So you can actually go to a studio, you can actually go to an entertainment bank and actually get funding for this project.
So do you need any funding right now?
Yes, we do funding right now, and the funding we need right now, we've actually cut our problems in small segments. So right now, we have cut it to $5 million. So $5 million is actually seed money, the money we need to actually officially sit down with Jaimon also and say, okay, we're going to pay you a $2 million down payment, but we want you to be on board as one of the executive producers. So we're not only paying you for your act, but you're also getting a certain percentage of funding from the returns, projected returns. So a minimum projected returns when we invest in $40 million, it is nothing less than somewhere about $77 to $80 million. We can even go beyond that.
Now,
you know what I mean?
let me cut you short. Sorry for cutting you short.
No
right
problem.
There. For example, right now, I don't know who's watching, right? We have a lot of people watching.
Exactly.
You're speaking to prospects. Let's assume you're speaking to a prospect who is ready, you know, to fund this project. What did you tell him right now concerning this particular project and the relevance of it, the importance of it, and you asking for funding?
So mainly, number one, I think one of the prospects that we are actually looking out for is actually the current government of the day right now. They have really promised people a lot of jobs, and we want to be part of the solution. This project alone is going to enroll over 7,000 people.
Great.
You know what I mean? So we are shooting pre-independence, meaning the movie ends on Independence Day. So number one, we're talking about costume designers. Everything that we're seeing in the movie is going to be designed by us ourselves. We're talking about graphic designers. We're talking about set designers. So Chilenge House, we're going to find land where we build from scratch. We build how Chilenge used to look like. So we're talking about bricklayers. We're talking about carpenters. We're talking about electricians. We're talking about all sorts of job opportunities that we're going to create. You know what I mean? So to the current government of the day and everybody that feels that they can actually jump on board, we are not only documenting the history of the nation, we are also, number one, creating jobs for and opportunities for our own people to be exposed on the world market. Look at how South Africa has done it now. Look at how Nigeria has done it. When you look at the recent movie that was done, the Coming to America 2, it actually had the main designer, actually the costume designer from South Africa, and we had Davido performing there, and we had a lot of people from South Africa making appearances. So why are we not doing it here? So it's actually an opportunity for every Zambian artist to be part of. You know what I mean? So it's also a bankable element. We are making money out of this. If we invest in $30 to $40 million, we are making nothing less than $80 million. So we are actually sending back into tourism. So we're going to put Zambia on the map, in short. It's a movie that is going to give an opportunity for everybody out there to say, where is Zambia located? And they're going to come here. And the strategy I have for tourism, specifically to the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Rodney, is that they should be the first beneficiaries of what we're doing. Because when these big names come, let's say we have Will Smith come here, we strategically take him to different tourism sites like the game parks, and we documenting all that, and we take him to Vic Falls, we take him to other different places, beautiful places that we have here, and we're documenting that, and we flood it on the internet, and people will be asking, where is Will Smith, what is he doing, where is Zambia? And suddenly we're going to be having people flocking to Zambia, you know what I mean? And suddenly we're going to be having hotels being built in different phases that people haven't paid attention to, because now there's a limelight of what Zambia looks like, you know what I mean? So it's a huge opportunity for tourism sector as a whole and as a nation, you know what I mean? So I feel that there's a lot of opportunities that we can actually take advantage of. So everybody that feels that they can be part of a project, they can actually get in touch with us through you, and We can see our best. We can sit down. I can guarantee you, we're not looking for favors from anybody. It's actually strictly business. When you come in, we've got numbers, we've got budget breakdowns, we've got projections on how much money we're making. If anything, I really want us to raise our own money so that when we pay somebody out there, they just pay them for the service. Unlike people getting money out of the country, taking it out there. You know what I mean? So we are actually trying by all means to see how best we can help to boost the economy of the nation. So yeah, basically that.
That's amazing, man. As we went up with the interview, if the money is found today, when do you expect the movie?
So if the money is in today, we'll possibly start shooting first week of January. Meaning we can have a movie 24th October next year.
How can people get in touch with you?
So they can get in touch with you. We do have a Facebook. We do have Facebook. So the struggle specifically has got a Facebook. The struggle itself on all handles, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can actually inbox us there. You can as well inbox me on my handle, which is Frank C. Kasonde, that's Facebook, and Frank Kasonde, that's Instagram and Twitter. So you can just...
Can you share your phone number?
Yeah, I can actually share my phone number. So my phone number is 0776 59 40 43. 0776 59 40 43. So you can get in touch with us and ask all the questions that you feel you want to ask. And talking of those people that I will be asking about auditions and being part of a project, most likely you can go to our Facebook page and like it, and we'll be posting our updates there. But for those that feel like you want to be part of it financially, you know where to get the money, you know how to get to people with money, you can actually call me, reach me on WhatsApp, and I think we can talk. My number is open 24/7. We work all the entire time. We don't sleep until this thing is done. So
I text this guy in the middle of the night, 01, we're chatting.
Yeah.
Now, Frank, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Yeah.
This is purely Zambian, right? The movie is called The Struggle, and it tells a Zambian story. And this guy right here is 100% Zambian. And I believe in supporting our own people. I believe in supporting local. And that's the reason why we're having this chat right here. So thank you for coming. And I want to wish you all the best. And I know that...
And just before you close, so we're actually doing... we're doing a radio campaign.
Great.
You know, talking about the independence and things like that. And one of our appeals, the appeal we've been actually doing for the last 3-4 months is actually just 10 minutes with the president, which we failed to achieve with the previous regime. So now we've moved it to the understanding new government. So so we are appealing to meet with H7. We want to meet His Excellence the President Hakainde Hichilema just to discuss the endeavors of this project. It's a huge project. A lot of people would have said no, you can actually run it through other small wings, but it's actually a huge project that contains us talking about the nation, because whichever way we're going to do this movie, people out there are going to say the Zambians have done it. So we'd rather engage the highest office and see how best we can make this project a success. It's easy for us to actually get funding with the blessings of the president. So we just want to use that advantage. So we're not even looking for funding from the president, just him just giving it a blessing to say it's our own project. And we know there are a lot of big companies and minds that can jump on board and say, let's raise the $50 million for this project, and we do it. You know, so I think basically that's where my last words.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming once again, and I wish you all the best. I know this is going to be massive. It's going to be on the world map. It's going to be recorded globally. So I wish you all the best, man.
Thank you so much, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that finally we did this.
Finally.
Sure.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do on the Real Life Show. We'll bring you the best that you need and the best that you deserve from me and Frank. Is goodbye. Stay safe and happy independence to you and your families. Peace.
Peace out.